This is ridiculous. A new low point for the Houston Rockets this offseason, which has gone fairly well so far, but it seems that GM Rafael Stone has finally made an official decision on Cam Whitmore, as we give you the details of that right here on this video for Rockets Digest. Hello everybody, I'm your host Donovan Ricondo, and as always, we appreciate you joining us on Rockets Digest. And if you are part of the 22.5% of people not yet subscribed, why don't you go ahead, hit that button below. We are going to give you all the latest news about your Houston Rockets, including videos like this. So stay tuned as we have breaking news from Shams Charania. The Houston Rockets are trading Cam Whitmore to the Washington Wizards for 2 second-round picks, sources tell ESPN. The deal gives Whitmore a tremendous opportunity for an increased role as he turns 21 on Tuesday and returns to the DMV area, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, where he is from. Now, this is something that we all saw coming, right? It was something that was in the news about a bunch of teams that were interested in Cameron Whitmore. The Nuggets were a team, the Lakers, the Bulls, and now the Washington Wizards are going to get a young star who is one of the most talented young offensive players in this league. And there's many people on this channel, including myself, that are very high on Cam Whitmore, who thinks that he is a guy who is going to be one of the best players in the NBA in a few years, right? I do believe that he has the skill necessary and the talent necessary to achieve that, but now he is on his way out to Washington, D.C., no longer going to wear the Rockets' red uniform next season. A little bit more about this deal is that it comes with those 2 second-round picks, 2026 and 2029. And quite frankly, there was news of this deal being for non-player assets. So this was somewhat expected. However, it still hurts, right? It still hurts to give away a guy who, in my opinion, again, is going to be a fantastic player in the NBA. Has to make a few adjustments, of course, but at the same time, has all the potential in the world to be that guy. And so it's very unfortunate to only get back 2 second-round picks. I understand it from a front office standpoint, considering what the roster cap on this, or the roster spaces on this team. And so I understand all of that, but at the same time, it still hurts to see this young man go. He's only 20 years old, going to turn 21 very soon, and so much development that will unfortunately not be part of the Houston Rockets. As Shams Charania continues to break down the situation, saying, quote, "The Rockets worked with Whitmore and his reps at WME Basketball over the past few weeks on a new home. Houston officials had multiple offers on the table for Whitmore, but wanted to see him go somewhere that gave him a legitimate chance to thrive in his career." And I must say, this is a very classy move from GM Rafael Stone and the Houston front office. I greatly commend them for doing that, right? I am gracious to be a fan of a team that does value their players, just even though you decide to trade them away to teams. They knew that Cam Whitmore probably wanted to return home and go to Washington, D.C., and play for the Wizards. They had deals on the table. They eventually said, "Hey, Cam, I know you want to go back home. Fine, here you go. We're going to get our 2 second rounders." And that's the deal, right? And so on one aspect of this, I am happy that we've displayed such class in handling this trade and handling this package for Cam Whitmore, and all best wishes to Cam Whitmore as well. But it is, again, unfortunate to let a guy like Cam Whitmore go. A little bit more details on this trade. Again, 2026 second round pick and the 2029 second round pick for the Houston Rockets. So we'll get that in next year's draft, and in 4 years from now, those 2 second rounders for Cameron Whitmore. And so I want to go to a little bit more about the quotes and what we're talking about, but I want to start off first with what were his stats like? Because he didn't play very much on this team. It's been hard for him to find minutes on this team, him being very young, him, being kind of the backup to the backup and not getting those minutes. But in the minutes he played, he showed huge signs of, huge upsides. 9.4 points per game in the outings that he played, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. In the G League, he was scoring a little over 20 points per game, and he was balling in the G League. And so, again, like his offensive prowess is great for a young player. Again, only 20 years old, going to turn 21 in only 3 days. So happy early birthday to Cam Whitmore, former Houston Rocket. But he was a solid player for us through and through for the times that he did play. Yes, there was some times of struggle of whether or not him, questioning his role on this team, and those are growing pains, right? Those are things that you would hope to not have from your roster. Hope you wouldn't have for your young guy on your team. It's unfortunate that it's kind of come to this situation. Ime Udoka talked about it as well, talking about how he was a little confused by that because they've had discussions with Cam, trying to like work on his development, which they have, and he's gotten better and better since he's been in the NBA. But the opportunity just did not seem to be here in Houston, and now he is on his way to Washington D.C. to play with the Wizards, who just drafted Trey Jones. So it'll be interesting to see those young guys over there as well. Charania continued on his report saying, quote, "The Rockets selected Whitmore with the number 20 pick in the 2023 NBA draft, but had trouble giving the talented prospect significant playing time. The deal gives Whitmore, who turns 21 this week, the opportunity for an increased role for rebuilding Wizards team. Whitmore is a Maryland native, so the trade also sends him back closer to home." Again, things that are very important to Cam Whitmore, and it's good that he's going to get that opportunity with the Wizards team that, quite frankly, will probably be bad for a very long time. Who knows? Maybe not. But at the same time, you're going to get a lot more minutes playing for the Wizards. No offense to the Wizards, but we're not blind. But yes, he will get those minutes. He will develop as a player. Hopefully, he can lift that team to new heights, new levels. All the best wishes to Cam Whitmore. We drafted him. We gave him the foundation in his NBA career. It is not going to work out, and now he's on his way. And I look back at this situation just thinking, what could have been. And I really wonder if how much the Houston Rockets and the fans of the Houston Rockets and everyone here watching this video, how much the Rockets are going to regret this decision, right? Is this something that you are going to regret in the years to come? Because the plan, right, initially that you would hope for is that, okay, Cam Whitmore, the minutes he's going to play is still a question, but at the same time, he can still learn from guys like KD, learn from guys like Dorian Finney-Smith, who you just brought back, still learn under, Fred VanVleet and all the other guys on this team. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't meant to be. And that is very unfortunate. It's a move that's not surprising, given the background and the rumors going along. But at the same time, very, very, a missed opportunity, if you ask me, for the Houston Rockets. A missed project, I guess is what you can say. As Ben DeBose gave his, analysis on this whole situation from Rockets Wire, saying that drafted at number 20 overall in the 2023 first round, the Rockets wanted to recoup a first-round asset for Whitmore, who showed flashes of strong play over his first 2 NBA seasons. But it was difficult to extract that type of asset for a talented but somewhat unproven prospect whose current deal has a maximum of 2 years remaining. In contrast, a player drafted with a future first-round pick would be under a rookie's scale contract for up to 4 years. And so this makes a lot of sense in terms of a what is he worth perspective, right? Personally, I think he's worth a lot more considering his upside. But again, he did not play very much. The way his contract is structured right now, and all of those things, if you're the Rockets, you kind of don't have that leverage, right? Because or teams know that Cam, doesn't necessarily want to be in Houston, right? He had teams that he wanted to go. He wanted to get more playing time. He wanted to develop somewhere else. And so if you're the Rockets, you can't force your hand at a first rounder. You managed to get 2 second rounders, and second rounders are how you build championship teams. It's how you find key pieces in the next few years to build your team. But at the same time, it is unfortunate that we could not get a first rounder for this guy who, was a first rounder and is going to be a great player in my opinion. And so that seems to be the situation on Cam Whitmore. As far as, how this affects the Rockets right now, not too much, really. Yes, it would be great to have Cam Whitmore come in and get some valuable minutes, but at the same time, Ben DuBose kind of breaks it down pretty well from Rockets Wire, saying, quote, looking ahead to next season, the Rockets have 9 established rotation players between the 5 projected starters. Fred VanVleet, Durant, Alman Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün, and Tari Eason, Steven Adams, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Reed Sheppard as top reserves. And so I look at this team, a team that primarily played only really 8 players in the playoffs last season against the Warriors, for better or for worse. But 9 players is something you can roll with if you're the Houston Rockets. I mean, yes, it would be great to have Cam to get those minutes and play those important games, but at the same time, you still have the players, you still have the roster. This is still a championship team for the Houston Rockets. It didn't need Cam Whitmore. It would have been nice to have Cam Whitmore, but now that is gone. But now it's time to focus on what this team and what we look like right now. We have 9 solid guys who are in this rotation. I don't know if they had Clint Capella. I can't remember. Add Clint Capella to there as well. You have a good roster that you can build around. You also have those G League members I talked about yesterday who, again, won't play much, but are just those fill-in guys in case anything crazy happens. But at the same time, it's unfortunate, this Cam Whitmore situation. I wish him all the best in Washington D.C., but at the same time, I feel like this is a huge opportunity missed for the Houston Rockets. And so let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think this was a mistake by the Houston Rockets? Do you think it was something that they must or needed to do, or was there more we could have got out of this trade deal? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. This has been another episode of Rockets Digest. I'm your host, Donovan Ricondo. Take care.